Really
Uh,
nice to have you on the a quick recording today. And if you don't mind, I'd love you to share your experience and also introduce yourself about your businesses that you run and
sure.
obviously why it's so important to you to have the right security in place.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Francis. So I'm Sophie Shrubsole. I have two hats that I wear each day. I'm the CEO at Westminster Business Council. We're a community of business owners and entrepreneurs that are grouped together to support each other, buy from each other, and network. Secondly, and very differently, I run a very bespoke and niche travel company, and we specialise in battlefield tours and historical journeys. So two totally different hats, but both of those hats collide when it comes to my mobile phone and security and how we live our lives every day. And it's probably a bit of a damning indictment, but my life is on my phone. So when things go wrong, they can go quite badly wrong. So security is absolutely essential. And I've known Francis for probably a year now, I think. And I love the business. I love what he and Sheldon and the rest of the team do. But I have been up to this point uh, fairly lackadaisical, and I think possibly lots of business owners do this. We're very busy, and we put important things to one side. And Francis has been reminding me for a long time about my mobile phone security, amongst other things. And unfortunately, I had a breach a few weeks back, which I'm here to tell you about, and just tell you a bit about how Francis helped fix that problem for me. So that's my little intro, and hopefully that's helpful.
No, that's perfect, Sophie. I mean, I've been a member now of WBC and recommend it to every business in the UK, especially if you're close to London. But yeah, so when we met at the garden party the other day, you told me a story, and I tell you what, you're not the first and probably won't be the last one, but I'd love you to share the story. What happened when you went to Las Vegas, of all places?
Yes. So I went to Las Vegas for an industry conference. I landed, and like a lot of travelers, the first thing I did was access the local Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi at the airport, because I needed to order myself an Uber and get to my hotel. And I didn't have an eSIM or anything like that at that time. So I logged on to the Wi-Fi, and as far as I'm aware, everything was working well. Got myself to my hotel, got straight into bed because the time difference is fairly significant, and I was ready to hit the hay. And I woke up the next morning and I had 10,500 spam emails in my email account. So I can only assume that once I was logged onto that public Wi-Fi, which, as we know, is not protected and hackable, the inevitable happened. Um, and I spent probably 3 hours going through those inboxes, trying to delete, report spam, all the things, just to try and clean that out. And unfortunately, also in that time, someone tried to buy flights using my credit card details off my phone. Thankfully, the good people at American Express stopped that. But the system had been infiltrated, and it was taking up a lot of time, a lot of data, a lot of security breaches through that just one very simple process of accessing Wi-Fi.
And you know what's so interesting? Thank you for sharing that, Sophie, is that, I do a lot of talks on the subject. And what I always say to people, I said, when you log on to public Wi-Fi, what does it say? This is normally three words underneath the name of the public Wi-Fi. Do you know what that is?
Something like this is unsecure or
There
something.
you go.
Yeah,
And I'm
something like
like,
that.
and then I say, why do you think they put the message there? And people go, oh, I said, because it's unsecure. That's why.
Yeah, yeah.
But people are oblivious, and it's not just where in public places like airports. I mean, there was a big case, if you remember, at Euston Station not so long ago. But it's also, people's homes,
Mm.
because, people have just one network at home. And then, of course, their uncle and their auntie and their sister and their brother and their kids log onto the same Wi-Fi. So if any of those devices are infected, it'll simply spread. And I wanted to share, I'm sure I've told you this before, one easy way to fix that problem is to, like hotels do and golf courses, they create separate Wi-Fi network, one for the business and one for the guests. Because here's the good news, an infection can't jump from one network to another. So my advice is always that people should set up a multiple. I mean, I've got 5 at home,
Wow.
5 different networks potentially at home, one for the kids, one for your work, one for your guests, one for your IoT devices, Alexa and all the other things. And I think there was one more, which I can't remember now. But if you do that, then at least, when people come into your house or to your office, let them be on a separate network to yourself. So, Sophie, thank you for sharing that experience. So what have you done since then?
So I told my reliable friend Francis about my issue, and he may or may not have laughed. Only because he had warned me for so many times and I'd ignored him, so it was entirely my fault. But we chatted about it, and then we set up a meeting, and you went through the main fix that I needed straight away in terms of downloading a piece of kit, an app, super easy to use, called Lookout Work, and that immediately then starts scanning the phone, protecting, looking for threats. And since I've had that for probably a couple of weeks now,
Yeah.
it has already blocked 3 attempts to phish for data, and again try and steal credit card details from shopping websites and things like that. And those attempts came at it told me it came at 3 o'clock in the morning. So obviously I wouldn't have been awake and aware of what was going on, or even technically able to deal with it, but Lookout dealt with that for me straight away.
So if you can, just open the app up for a second. I'll open mine
Sure.
as well, okay? And tell me, on the very first line, so just to remind people that are potentially listening to this right now, Lookout for Work is an enterprise level security for the mobile phone. And it works with any kind of tablet or other mobile devices. But on your phone, the first line, how many websites or URLs has it scanned since this morning?
It has scanned 21,906.
Bloody hell, you work harder than mine. Mine is sitting at 14,591. So, Sophie, seriously, have you been to 20,000 websites since this morning?
Well, God knows. It
With all
keeps,
your travel business. But the
yeah,
reason why I'm making this point is that even when your phone is on charge, like you said, 3 o'clock this morning, emails are coming in, text messages are coming in. But not only that, the phone is constantly talking to the outside world without your knowledge. And I
yes,
think this is what a lot of people, because they think, oh, it's an iPhone 16 Pro, Android. It's not safe. You need to have very good security software on there, which obviously we provide. But, without that, you're just walking around in the dark and just waiting for attacks. The talk about networking, WBC, I was at another networking event only a week ago. And, I met somebody there. And of course, they send a follow-up email, which is great. But guess what? So as soon as when I looked at the email on my phone, it blocked again, like you said earlier, a phishing attack. So I then phoned the guy up. I said, did you know that your emails that you're sending out are trying to steal data off my phone? He said, no. So anyway, they've gone and investigated, because a lot of people use CRM system. And if somebody can get into your CRM system, guess what? They can then change the URLs, the infected links, completely, especially in the footer or in the header of the emails. And
mm,
you'll never know until somebody gets attacked. So it's serious. We're seeing people now are 3 times more likely to click on a link on a phone than on a computer.
yes, yeah.
And we've got a lot of clients now that actually even protects their kids' phones, because you know what the kids are like. They click, 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 click. So what is your final message then to anybody that's hopefully listening and learning from your experience?
Well, I guess three messages. One is don't put off protecting probably your most valuable asset. I hate to say that it's the phone nowadays, but it is really. We all have them. They run our lives, where we get our emails, do our banking, connect with loved ones, etc. It needs protecting because there are people out there and systems out there that are just scanning to scam every millisecond of the day, and you will get caught at some point. So just be aware it's going to happen. Secondly, come talk to Francis or Sheldon and the rest of the team about the various different options for protecting all of your technology. It just makes sense. So those are my two big takeaways. Just get it done as quickly as possible. Don't wait like me to get hacked, have someone try and buy flights to the Caribbean on your credit card and send you lots of annoying spam messages.
It's a pity they didn't use it to book one of your brilliant tours, so but then you would have to pay for it twice. So
Exactly.
Sophie, thank you very, very much. I think having people like you sharing the experience will hopefully benefit other people, because we've seen a 70-30 split. 70% of companies or people come to us after the event, and it's so frustrating for us because probably 99.9% of the cases we would have been able to prevent, from happening. But there you go. That's life. I mean, I'm a hypocrite because they broke into my shed and stole my two prized possessions a few years ago, my model aeroplane and my chainsaw. And after that, now I've got CCTV, I've got everything in place. So, I'm as guilty as sin. But when it comes to cyber, it's just not worth gambling. Thank you very much.